الله وبركاته. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم. We began the journey of understanding the basics of buying and selling in Islam, in Sharia, and aligning our buying and selling according to the Sharia, the way that Sharia has taught us. So far, we have covered the definition of al-bay' istilahan, lughatan, and we have also covered other aspects that are related to al-bay', buying and selling. Today we will start to explore the arkan of al-bay', the pillars of buying. When we talk about rukun, the scholars from the principles perspective, they have defined that rukun is something that is within the action. For example, we have a house, and this house has 5 pillars. If one of them is removed, the stability of the house collapses. The house will collapse. This is the role of rukun in any sort of uh, ibadah, any sort of thing or rulings that we see in any sort of actions that we do, and based on their ruling, we will see them in terms of the rukun, which is pillars. We will see that if these pillars are not put in place, that particular course of action that we are doing will be invalid. That means the house will collapse, right? This is the house. If the middle is the rukun, or the main aspect of this standing of house, or the stability of the house, is the pillar that holds them from the center. If this is not there in place, the house will collapse. Or the house is standing on 4 pillars. If these pillars are removed, the house will collapse. Or if this pillars is says something wrong with these pillars, the house will collapse. This is the position of pillars. And this sort of definition is from the Madhab al-Hanafi. Whereas the other madhahib, other schools of thought, they say that the pillars, yes, it is from within the action. It is something that belongs within the action, but these things uh, sometimes is included in the action, but sometimes the particular rukun or the particular pillar is outside the action. What the meaning of that is that the action, or let's take the same example as house. They say that, for example, this is the house, has pillars. There are 3 pillars that are holding the house from within. That means these pillars are, or these elements are those that involves or includes from the house, inside the house. But there is one more element that is related to the house, but that falls outside the house. That is not from within or from the types, from the house in itself, but that is somewhere belonging from outside the house. But without that pillar, the house will also collapse. This is also considered to be pillars. The fuqaha of Hanafiya, they say all of those things that belong within the course of action, and without those things, the house or the action cannot be valid. All of these things, if they are not in place, the particular action is invalid. Other fuqaha, they say yes, all of those things that are included in the course of action, plus if there is any other element that is outside but that validates the action or invalidates the action, is also considered to be the rukun. Right? A bit technical, but we'll understand from the examples as well. When we look at al-bay', buying and selling, we have to also define the pillars of buying and selling. If we don't have pillars in place, then how can the action be valid or invalid? So discussing on that, like we have pillars for salah, Takbiratul Tahrima, Suratul Fatiha. All of this is presenting the actions within the Salah that tells that this is valid Salah or invalid Salah. Based on this, the Fuqaha of Hanafiya, they mention that in buying and selling, when we see, there are two main aspects to it. There are two main pillars to it. Without these two pillars, the action is, or the buying and selling is invalid. What are they? What are those? The two pillars that they mention is, one is offer, another one is acceptance. In Arabic, we say al-ijab and al-qabul, right? There's a whole different discussion on the ijab and qabul itself. Before getting into it, understanding the course of this is that al-ijab means creating an offer to buy or sell. Al-qabul, creating an acceptance in terms acceptance to ensure the buying and to ensure that buying or selling, right? For example, ijab. I want to sell this element over here for 2 dirham. This is my offer. 2 dirham. Al-qabul. Okay, I want to buy this. This is qabul. That shows that I have accepted your offer. This can take various in various format. For example, we go online and we try to shop from an online website. Let's say, for example, Amazon or Amazon. Let's say, for example, Amazon. So I go to Amazon. I see an advertisement, particular product for 5 dirhams. Now, this is just, it is not an offer until now. It's not, I have not received the ijab. This is just i'lan. This is just an advertisement. When I see the advertisement, I click on it. I press to the cart. I go to the cart and I place an order. That order takes time to the buyer, and the buyer has to accept your order, right? So what happened here? At this time, you are creating an offer that, okay, I want to buy your product that you have did an i'lan or did an advertisement on online on Amazon for 5 dirhams. So I'm adding it to the cart. This is my offer. I want to buy. When he accepts your offer over there, this is qabul from his side. Okay, I want to sell your, I want to, I'm accepting your offer for this. This is one way to look at the online transactions. The another way to look the online transaction is when you put in the cart and the value of the amount is same, did not change. This is ijab from his side, and the moment you purchased and put your OTP number that you receive on your device is qabul from your side. Until that, it's not qabul from your side. This is the another way of looking ijab and qabul. Now, how this ijab and qabul or offer and acceptance has become part of pillars, because the fuqaha of Hanafiya, they have seen the transactions that in every transaction they do, this is the only thing is happening, and that is only being the part of actual exchange. Remember, we told, according to the definition of al-bay', buying and selling in Islam, is both party has to be owner of their interest of the product, right, in a Sharia way, which means they should be radi, they should be agreeing on getting having the ownership of the money, and one has to have the ownership of product. They should have agreed in these terms. Having said that, they said every time when the transaction is happening, every time when there is exchange, one is offering, other one is accepting. That means without offer or without acceptance, the bay or the buying and selling is not possible. So these are the only two pillars that we see, or two only elements we see. So according to us, according to Hanafiya, they mentioned that The buying and selling, or the arkan of buying and selling, are only two, which is ijab, offering, and acceptance. Because in all the transactions that we see, in all analysis after making, we see that every transaction cannot survive or cannot be initiated until there is ijab, and it cannot be completed until unless there is no qabul. So no transaction can be initiated if there is no offer, there is no ijab, and no transaction can be completed if there is no qabul from the other side. So if these two elements are not there, the bay is not happening. It's only discussion. It's only a discussion. To complete the bay, it must be there. One side must have an ijab, and the other side must have qabul. The other ulama from al-Malikiyya, from al-Shafi'i, and from al-Hanabila, when they see the al-bay, buying and selling, they said it is true that ijab and qabul must require, it is must. Without starting, you cannot complete, and without completing, without qabul, you cannot complete a transaction. But there are also other aspects that are also important in al-bay'. If they are not taken care in al-bay', in buying and selling, then the transaction will be invalid. The transaction will be invalid. So they say, yes, ijab and qabul must be there, and there must be two parties doing this. That means one should be buyer, one should be seller, and the place of transaction must also be known. So the place of transaction where you are doing must be known by both of them. It's not that the person who's trying to buy does not know from where he is buying, or where he is standing, or where is the transaction is taking place. Both the parties must be there. Both the parties must one must initiate, another one's accept, and they both the place where they are standing must also be available there. They must know of the place where they are transacting. So how many we have? We have first one, that there should be ijab and qabul, right? And they should be, the place must be known. Place must be known, right? Then we have is that the one buying and one seller. We have three. Number four, the sigha, the type that, or the way that they are doing it, ijab and qabul, must also be known. For example, the words that we are using to create an offer, or the words that we are using to showcase or indicate the acceptance, must be known to each other. That okay, this sort of sentence means that he is offering me to buy, or this sort of sentence indicates that this indicates that he wants to purchase from me, right? Right. So the buyer must know when the seller is trying to create an offer, he that his offer indicates that he wants to sell, right? There shouldn't be confusion in that regards. And the buyer, when he is saying, showing his acceptance to the offer, the terms or the words that he used during that time must indicate to the seller that he is showing an interest, and this shows that he is accepting my product and accepting to purchase my product. This is the arkan, or these are the pillars that the fuqaha from this madhahib, Thalatha, Malikiyya, Shafi'iyya, and Hanabila, they have analyzed into this. They say if these things are missing, then the bay is invalid, right? So the haqiqa, by going back to the rukun, or the pillar of al-bay'. So the Hanafiya, they said is ijab and Qabul. One is has to make offer, another one has to accept that offer. We consider this is within the part of bay, and such a part of bay, without it, the bay cannot be possible. That means if you can't initiate, you cannot. And if you can't end, there is no bay. If you can't initiate, there is no bay. And if both of them are not there, there is no bay. So these are the pillars of bay. If one of them is missing, the bay is invalid. And the fuqaha, their definition, if you see for rukun, it's all those things that lies within the element, within the bay, and that are not within the bay, but are a part of bay, but are important for the bay to be valid. For example, Ijab and Qabul, they know that this is from the bay. But the other element like Sira, the way they will say offer and acceptance, which will indicate, and the place which they will do the transaction, these are these are not part of the bay, right? The actual bay, to understand it. These are not part of the pillars. These are some external factors that play such a role that they have become the part of pillars. They are not in actual pillars, but they had played such a role where they had become the part of pillars. Because if one of them missing, it creates the bay to be, or buying and selling to be, invalid. This is a technicality that the ulama they have studied through understanding this. Moving from this, then the ulama discussed how and what are the words that indicates the bay and that indicates the shira, right? The sigha of ijab and sigha of qabul. The way we say offer or the way we say acceptance, what are the indications for that? Coming back, all the transactions that we do, for example, online transactions, buying from Amazon, as I explained, where is ijab, where is the qabul in that transaction? How do we differentiate and how do we understand to make our bay Islamically accepted? The advertisement we see, we click on it, we go to add to cart. The two ways to understand. The moment you place the order, right? Add to the cart, the moment you place the order, this is ijab from your side. Unless the seller does not accept or does accept your order, there is no qabul for it, right? This is the normal practice we see. You place an order on Amazon, it goes to the buyer for his acceptance and gives the time for him to accept. If he is not accepting the order due to any reason, he will cancel the order for you and you will get your money back. So this is the ijab that you place, the offer you place to buy his product that he had advertised on the platform and he refused. Another way is to see, according to some other ulama, that in this the ijab is the moment you put in the cart, now the amount you see in the cart before you enter your cart details is the ijab from the buyer side. For example, you saw the advertisement 5 dirhams or 5 dirhams of it's a 5 dirhams of a book, right? You want to purchase that book. The moment you add it to cart and now you went to checkout to pay, the amount that you see in that checkout, for example, the product value 5 dirhams, delivery cost 10 dirhams, service cost 5 dirhams, and the total amount this much. This is the ijab, this is the offer that you see from the seller. This is the final offer that he is bringing to you. If you are interested, then you go to checkout, enter your card details or cash on delivery, and then you purchase from that. Yeah, there are two ways to look, and both of them understanding is fine. Second opinion is much more taken by the ulama. This is one way. How about how do we look of ijab and qabul when we are transacting, when a large company is doing a transaction? Well, transaction through phones or transaction through emails, it is considered ulama that In email, when you write an email to your clients, you make an offer through that email and you send it to them. The way we understand the qabul is if he replies within the certain time frame where you mention your ijab, that here our ijab and our majlisul aqd, which we will convert inshallah, the time frame of this ijab is like 3 days or 24 hours, 48 hours. If you do not receive any reply within the 24 hours, or you don't receive any qabul or any acceptance within 24 hours, then this ijab is invalid. You have to make another, again, a re-offer to that person for the product that you are selling. This is goes to the emails, this goes to the messaging we do on WhatsApp. So if it is on the spot, right, live, happening in real time, then it is considered a real time transaction. And the moment you send the offer and he accepts, done, khalas, product is sold. But if it's not a real time transaction, means you're sending email now and you don't know, maybe he will reply at the point, good. If not, then you can set a time frame agreed upon yourself on the type of this offer being valid. If this offer is valid until 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, whatever it is, time frame or a week, you can keep that window open. But this is my ijab is open for you. 72 hours. Within that, if you reply with acceptance, product sold. If not, not sold. You have to renew your offer again and send it to them. This is the way that ulama has accepted on. This is all for the session. Inshallah, jazakumullah khairan for watching. If you have any questions, you can send a comment to me, or you can also send me an email. And inshallah, I will try to answer anything that you were not able to understand through the session, inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa barik.